Hello, everybody. It is Chip Walton of Chop and Brew. I got my name on my chest so you don't forget, or so I don't forget in case I ever get lost. I want to do a quick video, and I'm going to call this The Grateful Eight. And it's just going to be a real quick rundown of some reasons why I'm grateful about Chop and Brew and the people who like Chop and Brew. And I'm kind of on a timeline here because Jonas appears to be arousing from a nap in the next room over. So I just really wanted to record this super quick because it's funny. Every year in mid-December, I start getting these like LinkedIn alerts that people are congratulating you on the anniversary of your job. I've never started a job in December. I've started in January. I've started a lot of jobs in October and November for some reasons. But for some reason, never December. So it always like trips me up. And then I go in and I look and I'm like, oh, it's when I started my LLC, my small business, Chip Away Media, which is essentially like, it's how I build people for like freelance writing, but really it's like how Chop and Brew exists as a small business. So it's always funny. And then I was like, damn, it's been 8 years, y'all. I started Chop and Brew as I was leaving Northern Brewer out of fear that without having brewing TV in my life, I would not have this thing that I needed, the video, the creativity, the community. So I started Chop and Brew. A lot of people made the transition with me. A lot of people didn't. We've built a lot of new people. So 8 things. I challenged myself to find 8 things for each, one thing for each year of Chop and Brew. So first and foremost, the fans, for sure. Like, and I'm going to just go through these. I could do like an hour on each of these, but I'm just going to rip through them because I can hear Jonas getting even more awake. The fans, dude, everyone that's been there from day one, everyone that's been there since year 8 and day 1, like especially the Patreon people, y'all fuel me financially. You make me want to go down into the basement and put a couple hours into editing when I might be tired of editing or just tired in general these days. But the fans also, like people like DeWitt, who made the logo pro bono because he felt bad for how pitiful the hand-drawn original one, or Saul, Sir Chops, who made this hoodie. Woo, it's hard to see. People have sent me gifts, beer, support, like Justin Martin doing the music. There's just like, this is not my show for sure. Like, I produce it, I wrangle it, but this is the most like collaged and consolidated multimedia project I've ever been a part of for 8 years. So like, fans can't do a show without fans. Why would you? And then second, friends, mainly the friends in the crew: Dono, Badass Brian Adams, Leaf, Paul Illa, Chris Paynes from back in the day. Like basically anybody, the Shenyans, anybody who's like come on the show or we've gone to their house has then become just a friend. Ivar. Like, Ivar I talk to every day. There's no reason I should know this guy in Norway, but except for Chop and Brew. So I look forward to expanding that inner circle in 2021. Third, the guests, dude. And like I said, some guests become friends, but a lot of guests are just good stories, good brewers. But people that are willing to let me come into their home, their basement, their kitchen, their garage with a camera, get in their face. Pro brewers, home brewers, food people. The guests have just been, I don't know. So I have this news background, so I have no fear of just throwing a cold email to a PR person. And that's how we got like Mike Williams from Great Lakes for the 12 Beers of Christmas. And that turned out to be an epically wonderful conversation. So the guests, both friends and just awesome people. Other creators, I would say number 4, there's a show called Doing the Most. They had me on. We did our first like Chop collab with Short Circuited Brewers. White Labs had me on. Brew TV, which is a TV show in the Quad Cities of Illinois, Iowa. I appreciate them. Kind of what's it called? Rising tides lifts all boats. I just appreciate that someone thinks what I'm doing is decently good enough to want to feature it and be a partner. So yeah, there's an epic, hopefully, collaboration coming up with Nate P. Shore Lunch with Nate P. I actually need to have a phone call about that. And then here's where I have a bunch of arrows. The sponsors, for sure, but not just like I'm not just being cheesy here with like a shout out to the sponsors and do like a 30-second read. Like really, you know, BSG, Imperial Yeast, Brew Your Own Magazine, as entities, companies, but also like a lot of these episodes, like the National Homebrew Club of Ireland paid for us to get over to do their BrewCon. Joshua M. Bernstein flew me to New York to do his homebrew tour. So it's not just these like companies. Oh, I gotta go get this kid. Hold up. What's up, Nugget? Oh, it's the Nugget. All right, we're going to do... I'm also grateful for this guy, but he's not... I guess he's Chop Brew related. Who knows? But these people that have, you know, gone beyond just inviting me somewhere and helping. F.H. Steinbart, which helped us get to Portland, which we still have episodes to finish from there. Same with Norway. Yeah, these are people that come out of pocket to make sure that some cool content gets done. 6, Northern Brewer. Twice. First go around with Brewing TV. Second go around now I'm back there in pretty much the same job, just with different goals and different ways of getting content out. But even in the time in between, man, I'm gonna get emotional here in a second. My friends from Northern Brewer, man, I never gave up on those homies, dude. We all kind of had our reasons for leaving if we left, and a lot of them didn't, and it's awesome to work back with them. But and Northern Brewer's also just been my homebrew shop all those times in between. Even when the haters were hating for one reason or another, I don't know, that place has my heart, and Chop and Brew wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Northern Brewer taking a risk on something called Brewing TV. And what the heck is this crazy show? Because I basically just ripped that shit off. It took it to my house. Earmuffs. So, I don't know if I should have said that. That's okay. I'm back there now. Beer. 7th thing is beer. Love beer, man. I think I love beer too much. But the community around beer, brewing, home brewing, sharing our beer, sharing our information. These 12 beers of Christmas have 12 beers of Christmas has really just like hammered that home. Just, you know, these brewers for the most part come up off their recipes, their processes, their techniques, their tricks, and then they just have a great time talking about it. But as happens in a lot of Decembers, my beer relationship is complicated. So I'm going to take some time off in January, and we're going to focus on editing Norway and editing a bunch of other stuff that's been in the can for a hot minute. I'm going to do some tasting notes, though, with the day that's left in December. So I have that footage to edit in January. And then lastly, Elsa, my parents, this guy now, but I mean, Elsa, oh my God, y'all. If this show actually made any decent amount of money, this woman should get most of it because, I don't know. Y'all can probably tell by my videos, I'm a little bit of an overachiever. I'm a little sporadic, mercurial. I spend a lot of time away from her and even him in this last month doing these 12 days. Like, it's been a full-time second job. So I love you, Elsa. Thanks for, I mean, there are many times in these 8 years where I've wanted to give this show up because of one thing or another. And she has just kind of been there to remind me, like, what I'd be missing if I weren't doing it. My parents bought me my first video camera in 1995 when I thought I was going to be the next Quentin Tarantino. So it's just funny that the full circleness that, you know, I can still take these skills of multimedia production and then mix that with the beer and have something that people around the world seem to appreciate. That's awesome. And I think that's it. The Grateful 8/9, 8+. What are we going to do? Yeah, we're just going to grunt. All right, y'all. There's some content coming like literally tomorrow as we get into dry January. We've got some hop water pro brewers lined up to maybe do an interview and help us make some at home. Going to focus maybe on some like food stuff, but I have tons of editing to do. There's at least 8 videos from Norway or related to Norway. There's the Homebrew Con footage from 2014 club night I found in the vault. There's just a lot of stuff, dude. I love doing this. I love y'all. I appreciate the support. I could just keep saying that over and over, so I should probably just wrap it up. All right, y'all. Check it out. Chop for chop. Brew. Bye, y'all.